All right. Good afternoon, everyone. It's Teach Me Nana Friday. Hopefully, everybody's looking forward to the weekend. I know I always am. But anyway, today we are doing another alternative to the Adventure Begins, the July Paper Pumpkin. And hopefully, if you ordered the August Paper Pumpkin, you should be receiving it most probably in the next several days in the mail. But a date to sit there and mark down is, let's see here, August 29th at 4 p.m. because Zoe and Nana will be live doing the August Paper Pumpkin kit. But today we're continuing on with alternatives to the July Paper Pumpkin, and that is the Adventure Begins. So that, let's go down and we're going to go to the hand so you can see what we're going to do today. I think. Just a moment. Give me a break. Alright. So yes, I went ahead and wrote it down here just so you can see it visually as well too. August the 29th at 4 p.m. You know what? The deadline was to order was August the 10th. If you didn't do it, that's fine. Just come join us. You can do any other kit. The whole thing is for us to be together and have fun together. And if you want to create cards, we create cards together. Or you can just watch and learn and decide if you want to do it later on. All right? But just mark it on your calendar, Sunday, August 29th at 4 p.m. Zoe and I will be together because either I'm coming there or she's coming here. Well, you'll see us live. All right, just to recap, these are some of the alternatives we've already made. So the objective each week is to just show you from the kit what we can make as alternatives. And this is what we've done already. And I actually did 2 of these last time, just to show you here. All right, so today I always tell you to keep your leftover scraps or pieces once we finish. So today, that's what we're going to be working with, is leftover pieces from previous weeks. All right, just to show you. So this is what the actual cards look like when it came with the kit. And so we're actually going to be using pieces from both of these, from leftovers from the cards from before. So like I said, always save your leftovers because we will use them. And you're going to see that right now. So here we go right here. Is we're going to use this piece here that actually came from the lantern card. And this piece here actually came from the card that had the trees on it. All right? Just so you know where it came from. I didn't magically whip it up or anything. But the only thing is because we're going to use these pieces, we will have to use some white cardstock, which say okay. It's like standard material in my household. And it's easy, and I'll show you, like we've talked about before, this is just an 8.5 by 11. And I actually kept the other half of the paper so I can show you just as a refresher and a reminder. You put these two together, there's your 8.5, 11 by sheet of paper. Let's see if we get better there. All right, so if you see that I need to do something or move something around so you can see it better, just let me know. But there it is. That's my 8.5, 11 sheet of paper. I cut it in half lengthways, and all I did was fold it in half, and now I have my cardstock for my card. Okay, so just to give you an idea. So if you leave any comments, I'm going to try to keep up with that if I can. If not, please be patient with me because we're trying to get that all coordinated. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, we're going to do stamping because we're going to actually stamp some trees on here. And I'm going to show you what we're going to do. But I'm going to first put this down. So this is already here down. I'm not going to use glue dots for the sake of expediency. I'm not trying to rush us or anything, but Zoe and Sophia are the experts with glue dots, and I am not. I can do it. I just get them stuck to me more than I do the paper, but that's okay. I'm doing this just to make it a little bit quicker and easier for me today because it's Friday and I'm looking forward to the weekend. I'm getting together with some friends on Sunday and we're going to be making cards. I have a friend that wants me to do a certain technique and we are going to do that technique to teach her how to do the technique. So all I'm going to do is take this right here. And I didn't cut the white off because it'll be okay. I'm just covering the front of my white cardstock with this. Let's see, I don't quite get that straight yet. Here, hold on a second. Ow. Okay, I'm just going to gently, if I gently do that, it could be easier for me this way. Because I actually measured this card, and it is exactly the same as my card stock. I measured that in advance, so I would, well, if I can get it on straight. Okay, I think I got it there. Alright, so it's just going to cover it. And you can see this is also, I'm just going to show you, if I measured this, this is 5.5 by 4 1/4. So I'm not going to trim anything off this either, because what I'm going to do in the end is I'm actually going to put this up on dimensionals like this. So we're going to have our dimensional effect. So with that being said, I want to go ahead and do my trees. And we're going to take the big tree here. I've already got it on my block. And I want to sit there, and I don't care how high I get it. I just want to make sure that I can see it. So this is my window. So basically, I'm using my point of reference as best I can. Yeah, that's about what I'm going to do. Okay? So I'm just going to use my point of reference. I know I got my imaginary line right here. And I may miss the mark or may not. But we're going to try to see if we can be spot on. And I'm banking on spot on. But we'll know. It doesn't really matter, because this is going to be covered up. But that's what I'd like to do. If it works out that way, great. That's what I intended. If not, then I get to be creative doing something I didn't anticipate doing. So all I'm going to do is take it now. I've inked it up. And if I'm just not sure about how far over, can eyeball it like that. And I'm just going to stamp. And yeah, it's going to be dark. You know, this sort of looks like it's nighttime. The moon looks like it's up right there. And there we go. See? Let's see what we got there. Okay, so it's a little bit high. Well, it's going to be pretty dark. It looks there. There you go. I did it okay. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to see how it comes out to the side if I do it just on the side. On my second stamp. I get a little bit of an image. All right, and the other thing is I want to sit up there also. I did bring my clean off. I didn't have a rag today. I used this instead. Get that good and clean, because I wanted to do the other little tree. I got green on my finger. And that's okay. You know what? Because it all comes off with water, and I'll just wipe it on. Well, it didn't come off there. All right, you'll just have to be stuck with me with a green thumb. It'll make me think I'm going to do gardening or something today. I don't think I'm going to really do this, because I would do that on a lighter tree. So when this is actually in the kit, if I had done the tree lighter, I could have done this in the dark green, and I could have had that image. But because I'm doing the dark and everything, you see how the stamp is? It already gives me that image, and I did the stamp off. Now the only other thing is I really wanted to fill this up with trees. And I'm going to actually add another tree in a minute too. But so see, I have the space over here. So I'm actually just going to add one more tree. But it's going to be smaller. And this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to just ink up to right here. Just about halfway. Okay. And part of it's going to be most probably hidden as well. So I did it just halfway. And all I'm going to do is come over here to the side, and I'm going to stamp it. And because I can, just because I can, I'm going to stamp off to the side here too with the second stamp off. So it gives just a little bit of an image. But you know what? It's the whole depth thing, giving you the perception of depth and making it look like you got tons of trees there. We're actually going to add one more tree, but it's not going to be stamped on. Just working cleaning off my stamp there a second. Alright, get all the green off there. Alright, so I have this here. Okay, so now this is where I'm going to end up. What I want to add to this is I'm going to add this green tree. So I have choices. I can either add it onto this side here, and if so, I would want to sit up there and have my label and have an idea of where my label is going to be. And I don't see it right now, but I got another label. This is the one I'm going to use. But I'll look around for. Well, actually, I could use this. But I sort of want to have dimensional. So let's go ahead and do the dimensionals right here so we can have the dimensional effect. So you can see where we're going. You know what? And I can do this just to sit up there and get an idea of what I want to do. I don't have to stick it on right this exact moment or anything until I figure out what I'm going to do with that tree. I'm going to put one right there. And I'm going to go ahead over here because I don't want it to be flopping around. I really want it to stand up nice and have the dimension that I'm looking for. I'm really looking for the whole dimensional effect, and I'll just show you. Okay, so see, that's what I'm looking for right there. So you can see I'm not seeing every bit of the trees that I did. You see it's just the edge, but that's the whole thing. I just want to give it the look of trees and look like it goes to depth. Now, like I said, I'm going to put this tree here. So I have choices. I can put it right here, which is one thought that I had, because it really pops. So see how that nice dark tree there, it really pops. It really stands out right there. Or the other option I thought I was wanting to look at doing was putting it here. Now the only thing about putting it here, and even though, if I can see if I can get the effect to show you. So even though I put it here, yeah, it's falling down, I can't hold it in the spot. So I don't think I'm going to get the dimensional look like I want unless I put it here, I guess is what I'm trying to show you, because you have choices. So I'm actually going to put it on this side, and the reason for that is I can put it right about there, or I can put it even right here between these two trees. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to put it down just a little bit low like this, because then when I go and put my label on, for the sake of argument, let's say that's the label, you're not going to see it, okay? So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut this off, and I am just going to stick it right there. And actually, this white piece, talking about leftovers, I believe this is long enough, and we're going to use it as my tag for this card. So that's what I tell you, just don't get rid of anything, because you'd be amazed at how you can use it. Tag it here, you're going to see in a minute, I can't use it. I thought I was going to use it, but it's not long enough for the thing that I'm going to put on here. So that's, hang on, we'll get there. I am just going to put a mini dimensional. Well, I thought about putting a mini dimensional, but you know what? I'm just going to put a glue dot here on this. I don't really need the height and dimension on it because I'm already going to have the height and dimension on it. And I'm just going to put this at the bottom because remember, I don't want to put it at the top because, and we'll do a fresher course, because if I sit there and had dimensionals and sticky stuff, well, on this one it wouldn't matter as much. But if this was just another card that we flipped over like the other, it would stick to this. And I don't want it to stick to that. I want the height and the dimension. I could put a dimensional here. I may decide to go ahead and do that. For the moment, though, I'm just going to go ahead and at least get this part on. And we'll decide from there. Because the neat thing is, you don't have to make the decision if you're not ready to make the decision. It's easier just to leave on the glue dots and dimensionals both. Just go ahead and leave the other side of the covering on until you're ready to really put it in place. If I can get this off. And I'm just going to put this one, I really want it right there between those two trees. I got the shadow, the second stamp off here, and this one, I really want it like right between the two is what I'm really looking for and want. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to put it right there. And I have my dimension. I think it's going to be okay. If it's not, I can always come back and add a dimensional. The world will not end. It really won't. Okay, so with this then, I will have to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and put my... I can go ahead. Let me stamp it first, all right? You have to sort of think it through. Are you going to stamp and what are you going to do? In this particular case, let's see what length I'm going to need. So I'm actually going to stamp. I'm going to go ahead and stamp this now so you can see it. This is, when we're using today, it says the world awaits you. Now I went ahead and put it on one of my other blocks so that I didn't have to peel off back and forth blocks yet, because I'll do that in a minute when I put the fireflies on, or lightning bugs. Just depends on what part of the country you're from, what you call them, or you might call them both. We always call them lightning bugs. They lit up in the dark. I am getting green ink. Alright, I will be sure not to touch too many things. Alright, as you can see, it's already dried on my hands, so it's not going anywhere, except until I get some soap and water. So this is actually a long stamp. The words are when you stamp it, so that's why I needed the length. Okay? Now, can I trim that down? Absolutely. I just have to, it's one of those things when you do this, you just have to decide whether or not how long you want it, because I could actually have choices even here. I could either butt it all the way to the end there. I could actually trim that, which I am going to trim it because I really planned on putting a firefly here and a firefly here. So it's a little difficult with it so long to do it. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and trim it. I'm going to trim it right now. Let's probably put fireflies on here also as well. And the reason why I said you have to sort of make these decisions, I mean, you don't ultimately have to, but it's easier because it's easier for me to stamp this firefly on here when this is flat than I got dimensionals. So I've got dimensionals on here already. It'll still work. Would it have been easier if I'd stamped it first? Maybe, most probably. Then I'd have to admit that I might have made a mistake, but you know what? I don't look at making mistakes. I look at them as opportunities for creativity. So let's see how this is going to work for us. I'm actually just going to use this on the end of the one I already did, just because I can. And I'm just going to do my 3 tap-in stamps there. And so here comes firefly number 1. Oh yeah, it came out just fine. I just had to treat it a little bit differently. It's not like I'm going to pound, stamp, and go or something. I'm just going to tap it, and then I'm just going to come down here and do the same thing. I'm just going to gently put it right there. And oh yeah, I got my second firefly. Am I through with fireflies? No, because I know I'm going to put one here somewhere. Unless I just do it right in the center. Let's see here. I'm going to put right there. The world awaits you. Alright, I'm just going to leave it like that for the moment because I think I'm fine with that. Sure close up my ink so they don't dry out. And I'm going to sure clean off my stamps because I don't want my stamps to be all messy and either. Alright, so at this point then, I'm ready to put this on. I'm going to straighten this out just a little bit because it looks like it's a little crooked. That's all you do. Just get your scissors out and create there, and that's all I'm going to do. Alright, so so when I do this, it looks like that firefly is a little close to the last firefly. Don't worry about it, because we can put bling on here and everything else. We're not even through. So we're just going to take this off the dimensionals here. And this kit came with some beautiful sequin bling that we're going to add. So they will like. Okay, you don't have to stick to ours. Stick it. I can find it here. All right, that's all we're doing. Okay, and we're just going to stick this on top. See? And then I'm not going to use dimensionals. Let's see here. Again, if you're not sure if you want to use dimensionals, I always take either my dimensional or something like this and just see what it's going to look like. Okay, this is the large dimensionals, which again, those are, I have some left over from other kits. And then here's the smaller dimensionals. The smaller dimensionals just a little bit different in height. And you know what? I think I like that because it's going to take away from my little firefly right there with the dimension. So I'm going to use the smaller dimensionals. We're going to do the same thing. I'm just going to anchor the corners. The main thing that I want to do is I'm going to cover up the bottom of this tree. So you won't really see that when you're looking at the beautiful card. Because, you know, that's the thing about making cards and giving them to somebody. You know what? They're not dissecting and looking at every little thing. They're always wowed despite that you made a card, you made it for them, and they're just amazed. And the cards are everything's in the kit that you need. So that's the other amazing thing too. But you can make very beautiful cards with the stuff in the kit. So all we're going to do here is I'm just going to start. I've got it right there, and I'm going to just start it right there. I'm covering up the base of the tree there that I cut, and I have this. So there you go. I have two fireflies together. Now the only thing is, Nana doesn't always like a lot of white, like right here. And I still don't. I like my color because I have color. Alright, so what we're going to do, we're going to test this out on a white piece of paper that I have. Let's see. This must be the day that Nana gets ink all over her hands. Whoop, whoop. It's going to be looking like I've been playing with a grandkid. Alright, I'm going to go with this one. That's going to match the tree, and it's still going to look nice. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to gently, I didn't do this at first, and I really wasn't sure if I was going to do this at all. I'm just going to gently brush around here. I could actually brush across here because it's light enough. I'm just gently doing this, okay? So it's not like I'm going and rubbing it like it's no tomorrow there. I'm just gently doing it. And as you can see, if I just gently put some pressure there, I'll get a little color. And see, I can see it right there. And I'm just going to brush it across. And it just takes away from all that white. I just want to give it, see, looky there. See what a difference that makes? I didn't put a lot, but just enough where it's not as white as it was. Okay? Let's just give it a little color. I just like to give it a little color. I got color. I like to use color. Plus it got me to go use a sponge and do some stuff with a sponge. Alright, so the only other thing we have left here is to add our bling. So we have choices. I could either do the yellow, which will make it look like I got additional sparkle and fireflies in the distance, or I could use the green, which just brings it all out. I think I'm going to use the yellow though. I like that because I am thinking of the weekend. I am thinking of friends that are actually camping and got their motorhome, going to different places. I got a couple of family members and friends that are doing that, and I'm just going to think about them and fireflies, and them getting to maybe see some fireflies. Hopefully they'll send us some pictures. They'll see this here, and they'll see some pictures, and send us some pictures of fireflies. And so there you go. We have a completed card. And it was all done from scraps, basically. This was a scrap from a previous card that we made. This is a scrap from a previous card that we made. This is a scrap from when we cut the tree off today. So it just goes to show you why, when you make your cards, keep all the leftover stuff, because you'd be amazed what you can make and do with it. So that is our card making for today with Teach Me Nana. Be sure to like and share our page, and just keep in mind that I'll go back to face so you just don't have to stare at my hands. Just keep in mind that when we are back on August 29th with Zoe and Nana Stamping Live with August Kit, that we do 3 drawings. We just say that to say hi, or just somehow that we can know that you're out there. A friend of mine the other day said, well, I thought you could see me out there like Zoom. I said, well, no, Facebook Live is not like Zoom. You really have to like us, do a heart, say hello, any of those things, and that lets us know you're watching, and then we put you in the drawing. We do 3 drawings on Sunday, August 29th. We do that once a month. So thank you for joining in. Share us and like us. We also are on YouTube as well. And the more the merrier. Come join us anytime to make cards. If there's something specific you'd like Fernanda to make, let me know. I've been getting some requests, and I've been doing those on Wednesday with Adventurous Stamping here on Facebook. So that's what people have been giving me requests, and I've been making it. On those days, Nana does it simple or step it up. All right. Have a blessed and adventurous weekend, and a blessed and adventurous week, and I'll see you next Friday at noon. All right. Bye.